What if I told you that everything you've ever wanted, success, peace, clarity, could be unlocked with one truth? Not 10, not 3, just one. And almost no one talks about it. In fact, most people spend their lives chasing goals, while running in the opposite direction of the only thing that could actually set them free. It sounds insane, but stay with me, because what you're about to hear might be the only thing that separates you from the life you want. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did absolutely nothing? No phone, no scrolling, no noise, no talking, just silence. Most people are terrified of silence, because in silence, there's no distraction from who you really are. And that's exactly where the truth begins. There's a Zen saying, you should sit in meditation for 20 minutes a day, unless you're too busy. Then you should sit for an hour. Sounds backwards, right? But here's what that quote is actually saying. The busier you are, the more your mind needs stillness. Not stimulation. Because the more noise you fill your life with, the further you drift from clarity. Here's the trap. You think you want a better life. But what you actually want is to stop suffering in the one you already have. You don't want millions, you want the feeling of safety. You don't want a perfect body, you want the feeling of confidence. You don't want applause, you want the feeling of being enough. And all of those feelings can't be chased. They have to be uncovered. But to uncover them, you have to get quiet. And that's the part no one wants to do. Because silence feels like death to the ego. It forces you to face questions like, who am I when no one is watching? What have I been avoiding? Why do I keep running, even when I don't know where I'm going? And here's where the Zen truth comes in. The truth that can unlock anything you want. Ready? Here it is. You already have everything you need. You don't need to become someone else. You need to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Before the pressure. Before the noise. Before the scrolling, the hustling, the pretending. Because buried underneath all of that is clarity. And clarity is power. But don't confuse clarity with comfort. Clarity is often painful at first. Like waking up after a long dream. It shows you everything you've been hiding from. The lies you tell yourself. The masks you wear to fit in. The goals you chase that were never really yours. But after that pain comes something else. Because for the first time, you're no longer divided inside. You're not running from your own reflection. You're not negotiating with your values to impress people you don't even like. You're just you. And that is rare. That is powerful. You want to know why some people seem untouchable? Calm, focused, steady, even in chaos? It's not luck, or talent, or motivation. It's presence. And presence is a skill. Like a muscle. The more you train it, the more unshakable you become. And here's the wildest part. Once you become fully present, you stop chasing things. You become the kind of person that things are drawn to. Opportunities. Relationships, ideas, energy, because people can feel when you're rooted in something real. So how do you get there? You stop trying to get there. You sit. You breathe. You observe. You let the chaos swirl without reacting to it. And in that space, between action and reaction, you reclaim your power. That's what Zen really is. Not religion. Not silence for the sake of silence. Zen is the practice of remembering what's true, noticing what's real, letting go of what's not. And the more you do that, the more powerful you become. Not because the world changes, but because your relationship to it does. You stop trying to control things. You start choosing how you respond. And suddenly you're free. Free to focus, to create, to build, to love. Not out of desperation, but out of clarity. This is why the world's top performers meditate. Why monks smile in silence. Why the most disciplined people often live the simplest lives. Because they're not chasing more. They're choosing better. And better doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. So, now that you know the truth, what will you do with it? You could forget this in 5 minutes and go back to scrolling. Or you could sit. Just for a minute. No music. No phone. No pressure. Just you. And in that space, who knows what you might remember. And if this message made sense to you, Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you.